Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first official match of Holomania, hosted by BSM. We have a very exciting match for you guys today. I am your commentator, Sparky, and I am not alone today. I am joined by none other than Dynascape. Dyna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and it looks like we're starting off very strong in this tournament with some powerhouses in the lobby right now.
Yeah, some very, very well-known names in some of the higher tier tournaments of the community. We have Team Usada Pakora going up against Hi Honey, our number 2 and 31 seed. So not as far as we can get. We do have that 1 versus 32 seed matchup later on this weekend, but still a pretty big discrepancy between the seedings.
And you can tell on the screen right now through their qualifier seedings that Usada Pakora's team really no real weaknesses in the armor here.
Yeah, absolutely. The SVs might be a way in, but I mean, to be fair, I think we can chalk off the SVs to not wanting to practice them because we all know how upper seeded teams feel about SV maps.
Definitely. You can never tell what will happen in a match, so maybe somehow both SVs slide through the protect ban phase and we see 2 points taken off them through that. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. That, or I mean, this is a 2v2. You just need one of your teammates to have a bad run to really swing the momentum one way or the other. But while we get everything situated in the lobby, we do have, like I said, our number 2 seed, Usada Pakora, staffed by Jakesu123, Ray, and Ting. Going up against Hi Honey, staffed by Shora, Ping, and Samuel HK Lumpers. I think all 6 of these names have been at or around Mania World Cup level. If not 40M, then the actual World Cup level of strength. So the seedings might be a little misleading. This might be a lot closer than we might be expecting.
Yeah, I think it's just a bright byproduct of this tournament being full of ETs, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're 32nd and you're ranked 32nd, it's really hard to justify the maybe this team has it in the bag type of commentary. It's one of those on any given day type of moments.
Yep, pretty much. As we get into the lobby here.
Yeah, so we are going to get into the warm-ups. Just as a note, the warm-ups are the only things that don't have to be Hololive related, so you can bring whatever fun music, whatever fun charts you want to the warm-ups. But as soon as those are over, we get down to business.
Yeah, as long as they're not over 4 minutes or explicit.
Absolutely, and we all know people love trying to tread that line, but thankfully I think we're going to have some pretty standard fare warm-ups. I think all players are in the lobby, might just be missing 1 or 2, but really we just need 2 from each team to be present and accounted for to get the match underway.
Seems like this is going to be Hi Honey's warm-up with a Suisse song.
Very nice. So,
In small
not
note, actually, this is Ping's own map from Hi Honey, so pretty cool to see, actually.
yeah, it'd be very nice to see what they've charted out here. And Ting going with the flashlight here in the warm-up. Very interesting. Always love to see players messing around with mods.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just a warm-up, so, always a fun time to bust out the flashlight.
Yeah, if there was ever a time to do so, now would be the time. And it looks like the other thing about the warm-ups is being able to get your settings right and make sure everything is in place. We do see Jakesu dropping out, stopping playing, probably just because there's something off that they want to adjust. Better now than during the match.
And it seems like this map might be kind of hybrid suited, maybe LN.
Yeah, with some very interesting bursts, Sinner's Burst. I don't know why, but this song sounds very familiar. I feel like I've
Yeah,
heard it before.
somewhere in the Hmm. Can't really place my finger on it though.
Ah, well, something to talk about after the match, probably. But as we get into the last third, I mean, signs of comfort all around. I mean, Ting with the flashlight can probably be written off in terms of the accuracy. The fact that they're holding onto the combo here is pretty impressive. This is definitely not, or it is definitely harder than what we're going to be expecting here in this round of 32 map pool. So definitely something good to get warmed up with. Nothing too egregious, nothing too hyper physical. Just something to get the reading comfortable to start off with.
That's gonna be it for High Honey's warm up. Pretty good scores all around. Very nice to see Ting FCing on Flashlight with a 97.92, 51 grades.
Yeah, almost a 1-to-1 ratio. And I mean, to be fair, once you throw on the flashlight, everything, all manners of comfortable reading get thrown out the window. But it looks like we have our second warm up, and judging, we're going opposite ends of the spectrum. A very standard warm up, and then we have what we expect from warm ups.
Always gotta have the funny meme warm up map. So glad to see
Absolutely.
it brought out 38.32 star rating.
Oh boy. I would not be surprised if half the lobby just stopped playing this after about 30 seconds. And it's 3.5 minutes, so...
Oh, these are pretty cool bananas.
It'll be very interesting to see who survives at the end of this. I always like to say you can't win in the warm-ups, but you can definitely lose in the warm-ups.
If it were me, I definitely would not be definitely would quit in about a minute in, so
Pretty much. Imagine getting this in like a multiplayer lobby. Just somebody throws this on, it's like, yeah, no, I'm good.
average host pick, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey look guys, I'm a Vibro player. And it proceeded to get like 68% accuracy.
Just Vibro player things.
Just Vibro player things. But thankfully this is just a warm-up, so we'll see what the players are gonna have to endure for the next 3.5 minutes.
Seems like High Honey's team does not like this map based on lobby chat.
I do not blame them. If I see 38 stars as my opponent's warm-up, I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'll catch
I'll
y'all
just sit
in the
this one
actual
out.
match. Yes. It's like, do we have to be here right now?
Starting off pretty light here.
Yeah, as light as 38 star charting can get. That is probably the most normal thing we're going to be seeing. I think we're seeing some no fails. So definitely.
And here we go.
Is it one of those? I wonder if one team fails out, does the map just stop? I don't believe so. And here comes this. This is Mania as Pepe intended it.
Certainly something.
Definitely something. This is actually going to be the grand finals tiebreaker for MWC. Ting's just leaking it for us here. I just realized that he was the one that mapped this.
And you know, surprisingly, Shore is doing really well with a 43, basically up to Ting's percentage.
I think this is just a war of attrition right now. Definitely. I mean, on the bright side, this definitely gets the fingers warm. Like, it forces you to actually do stuff. For better or for worse. And I think if you're not somebody that really wants to expend too much energy, this is definitely your worst nightmare.
And you know, to be fair, we've already tested speed, SV, now we're on to the Jax part.
That's true. This is definitely a very well-balanced warm-up now that I'm thinking about it. Now we just need like an impossible... Yeah, a little jump stream at the start. Now we have the Vibro.
Maybe even the tech.
Now we just need like an impossible LN inverse section, and I think we've got all the bases covered.
I think that's what Ting had in mind when he mapped this. So.
Yeah, as we allow this to continue. I mean, we do have other matches coming up. This is a very early match for the weekend. I think it got rescheduled to 14:30. After this, we have our conventional slate of matches. We have one at 5 UTC tomorrow, and that'll be the start of, like, the official start of the round of 32 weekend. And then just matches upon matches, 16, 18, 23 UTC, and then our second day.
Yeah, and
off
funny
at
thing
about
about
2.
that is that the 5 UTC match actually rescheduled to 12 UTC, so it'll
Oh, yeah,
be
that's true.
quite a while until our next match.
Yeah, so hopefully this one gets us started off on the right foot. I know this warm-up is definitely a step in the right direction. Oh look, there's the impossible LN section that I
There's
was
the
talking
LNs.
about earlier. Yep, so we've got everything, all the bases covered. This is prime warm-up material now. Definitely want to make sure that the teammates are ready. How has everybody climbed up to 60% accuracy?
Yeah, that's very...
I think that's the most terrifying part about this warm-up. The fact that they're almost cresting 70% is disturbing, to put it bluntly.
and also impressive, I guess. Oh, sure.
There goes Shoira.
At the end. The mount was
Oh
so
my
powerful
goodness.
it broke his screen.
That background is also very powerful. But with that being said, that'll take care of the warm-ups. We can actually get into the match proceedings. As a reminder, we have protects and bans in this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see what the protect strategy is going to be from both of these teams.
Yeah, when you have a team as strong as Usada Pakora playing maps like these, you just have to wonder what they want to ban.
Probably SVs. I mean, SVs usually on the chopping block whenever they are available, and it looks like Jakesu's going to roll 60 versus Shoira's 17, so they do win the roll. We'll get the first pick regardless of what they decide to do in the protects and bans.
And Sparky, if you could just go over the pick and ban phase, the pick ban and protect phase, I guess, for viewers.
Yeah, so our referee is going to ask the roll winner if they want to protect first or ban first, and then depending on what they pick here, we will go in ABBA order. So let's see. They don't know what they want to do, so this will make things very interesting. In instances like this, when the map pool is this easy, I would say just maybe ban first would be the option. Just get rid of the thing that you want to get rid of.
Yep, especially if you're very comfortable with these maps and feel good about like everything else but one, might as well just let your opponent pick first, get that map you don't like out of the way, out of there.
Yeah, I think we clarified that it's going to be regardless of what the protect and ban procedure is, the roll winner will pick first. So they want to, our referee just clarifying things here. Protects always throw a little wrench in the matter because not a lot of players are used to playing with protects. Okay, so they want the other team to ban first, so they will protect first in this case, I believe. Yeah, so because they want the other team to ban first, Usada Pakora will protect first in order to keep with that order of ABBA. I could see just one of the rice picks just being protected just because it's...
Yeah, maybe something like Rice 4, huge W.
Yeah, something techie. Could probably just go something standard, like Mogu Mogu or Silvu President. Just because they are the most straightforward rice maps in this pool. Ground Pound might actually be a bit of an option, but they are going to opt to go with Ground Pound, yeah.
And just like you called it, maybe they think that those little bursts into the Jack section might slip the other team up.
Yeah, so High Honey is going to be protecting here. They probably also have pick of the litter here. The round of 32 pool is definitely substantially easier than the qualifier pool, so they might find some comfort in a lot of these picks. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, like, say, Shura Despair get protected here, just because it's the most straightforward, easiest to act map in this pool.
Yeah, going along with their warm-up, or maybe they just pick something out of SV.
That's true. You can also protect the SVs just to ensure that you have like a wild card to throw out during the match, especially if you feel you are going to be out-ratioed by your opponent. Shoira is going to roll here, probably to decide what they want to protect. Like between SV1 and SV2. Oh, and they're going to protect Rice too, so Mogu Mogu and Ground Pound are going to be protected. So we're going to have some Rice to deal with here. The bans are going to come out. I believe High Honey is going to ban first. And I don't know about you, Dinah, but I feel like the SVs are not long for this world considering they weren't protected.
That's usually the case, and I would really hate to see it.
I mean, the LNs are the second bet, but I feel like, oh, I got it wrong. Usada is going to be banning first. And the ban is going to be SV1. So, no LaPlus.
Unfortunate, after I specifically requested that no one ban it during the showcase.
Very true. Oh, and I think that Bancho might have eaten a message for us. I think I might have missed.
Yeah, I think it missed the protect.
I missed the protect. So Mogu Mogu was the ban for High Honey. So I did miss one of the protects getting pulled out. So it'll be interesting to see what that protect was. I'm sure I'll be notified in our little commentators Discord chat. But for right now, we do have the first pick. And it looks like it is going to be Silver President to kick things off on this round of 32 weekend.
Yep, and nothing crazy about this map except for maybe the rolls. Other than that, I don't see anyone dropping ACK anytime soon.
No, absolutely. It's going to be very much a ratio battle. I know people like to avoid accuracy battles in early rounds, but unfortunately, this is probably going to be an accuracy battle. It looks like it's going to be Jake-Su and Ting going up against Shoira and Samuel HK Lumpers here to kick things off, unless we have any last-minute substitutions.
And it looks like Right on Time was actually the other protect.
Okay, so right on time. Interesting, getting an LN protect. Actually, that makes sense. But with that being said, the MP Star command does go out. We do have our players ready. The map is loaded. This is going to be a best of 9. So first team to 5 points will take the victory here. Not going to be eliminated, but loser will go down into that lower bracket.
And I just want to remind everyone that Usada Pakora's team got second in stage 5, which was Q, as well as second on Reflect, so
a very Rice-oriented team to kick things off, and we can see the comfort from the lobby here. 99.9s abound, except for Samuel HK Lumper falling just a little bit behind, 99.7, but still staying within lockstep. But it is going to give Usada Pakora a bit of a lead to work with here as we get into the second third of the map. And as we begin the back half of the map, we still see very high accuracies across the board. And it is just that accuracy deficit from Samuel HK Lumpers that is giving our red team the lead right now as we transition into the last third of the map.
Yep, just dropping a bit too many 300s for their liking.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they are climbing now, 99.8. And starting to make a resurgent comeback. Ting dropping just a little bit now into the 99.8s as well. So any 200s drop, and Jake-Su finds a drop out of that transition, and it's immediately going to swing the lead over to High Honey here.
And that is a miss that you do not expect here.
Absolutely not. Especially out of the transition, and Ting finds a drop as well. Oh my goodness, the most unexpected breakpoint is going to come out, and Hi Honey, despite the lower accuracy at the beginning, able to hold on to the full combos, 2v1 double S's, and take this first point.
Wow, and look at those ratios. If it weren't for those misses, and I guess the 50s and the great on Ting's side,
That is a very unexpected outcome. But I mean, it's one of those things where you're hyper focusing on trying to keep that immaculate ratio because you know that every player in this tournament is very accurate, especially on these early rounds. That sometimes you find those finger locks or the keyboard drops, and it just ruins your entire run. But with that being
Alright.
said, it is going to be a Hi Honey to pick now, and I would say we're going to transition into the bottom half of the pool, and it is going to be LN2. It is going to be Owl coming out.
And just a reminder to everyone, this is Sparky's map.
Yeah, I made this.
Sparky made
Hopefully-
this.
Hopefully they enjoy it.
I think, in general, feedback provided, everyone seemed to like the LN, so don't worry about that, Sparky.
Let's go. Didn't make a trash map this time. But I digress. We are going to get into LN2. Shora did leave the lobby just for a moment just to check if they played with Mirror. And it looks like we're going to see a substitution from Usada Pakora, Jakesu dropping out to allow Ray into the lobby.
And yep, Shore is gonna go ahead and stay in. Samuel stay in.
Yeah, this one a little bit on the easier side in terms of LN release. The OD 6.9, very intentional, is going to allow players a little bit of a wider margin for their releases. So not as punishing if you're not as up to snuff with your LN. You can get away with some rather hasty releases.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things to talk about is after double breaking in something such as Rice 1, it just makes you think maybe you saw in chat their confidence is just gone. Ray saying, I'm gonna slider break, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You start to think about that as well. That's a very important point to bring up. The mental game, especially in these early rounds, you lose one of those points like that on something that you were expected to get some really good accuracy on, and it was incredibly good accuracy up until those breaks. But we are into our second map of this best of 9, and right now pretty consistent across the board. I think Ray is the only outlier right now, standing head and shoulders above everybody else, and at that 9.9 range, Ting momentum not too far behind to back them up here. And this map definitely a little bit longer than some of the other picks in this pool. At least it feels like a really long pick just based on how repetitive the nature the song is. But as we get into the second quarter of the map, we still see Usada Pakora with the accuracy advantage, 99.8, but Ting definitely carrying the weight for the lead right now, 99.93, highest in the lobby right now.
And Hi Honey not too far behind, honestly. A couple of greats maybe in the denser sections by Usada Pakora's team, and that lead is flipped around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this map is just littered with choke points where you can find some really nasty slider breaks, especially towards this back half of the map. And as we enter the second half of the map, we still see this lead from Usada Pakora, 99.91, 99.88 to the 99.79 and 99.8 on the other side, still staying within striking distances. Hi Honey, if their opponents on the other side do find any 200s, could make a dent in this lead right now.
Yep, but I would not be surprised if I saw 4 V1SSs.
Yeah, absolutely. These players are on a completely different level right now as we get into the last quarter of the map. And
Seems
right
like
now,
Hi Honey is just holding out for a break.
yeah, and really that's all you can hope to do when your opponents have the accuracy that they have right now. Still 99.9s across the board for Usada Pakora. But High Honey still very commendable performances here. It's just unfortunate that the accuracy on the other end is as high as it is, because against anybody else, this might be giving a lot of other teams a run for their money.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is a very good score by them, regardless of how this map turned out for them.
Yeah, a couple 200s coming out at the very end from Samuel HK Lumpers. Probably going to ruin the V1SS, but it looks like Usada Pakora is going to take that breakpoint back in kind and notch it up 1-1 now.
Wow, and Ting with the only V1SS.
Oh my goodness.
Almost reaching
1-200.
997, yeah.
And having the ratio of their opponents basically 161, 327. Oh, actually, Samuel HK and Shora almost tied there. 327, just two 200s off from matching their scores.
992 and 993 coming out them. Crazy scores.
Absolutely ridiculous. But with that being said, it is now back over to Usada Pakora. This is now essentially a best of 7. Since we are tied up 1-1 now.
And like you said, with the Owl being taken out, that's 2 of the large, like very long maps done with SV1 being banned. Seems like, I think Ground Pound and Huge W might be the 2 other longest maps besides that.
I feel like Ground Pound might be on the cards here. Just go for that protect and try and get yourself another point on the board. But that being said, the script has been flipped here. High Honey taking the Rice pick, Usada Pakora taking the LN pick.
Yeah, 2 breakpoints.
There's no way we get 3 in a row, right?
You know, I think with Seisura, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see some absolutely monstrous scores on this map. So it is going to be Seishura's Despair coming out. And if it this has potential to be like 4 998 plus scores.
Yeah, maybe even a 999 coming out, possibly.
Yeah, like double digit 300s is probably going to be mandatory to try and make an impact in this particular map.
Yep, I would not be surprised if Usada Pakora gets under maybe 40 300s on this map.
Yeah, and it looks like Jakesu is going to stay out. Ray's going to stay in for Usada Pakora. No changes on the side of High Honey here. It is still going to be Shora and Samuel HK Lumpers.
Yep, we're just going to go right into it.
Yeah, these players know what they want. They are ready. We are going to get into this third map of this best of 9. Now, essentially a best of 7, as one of these teams tries to establish some momentum, pardon the pun.
This map being 149, and if you even so much as drop a grade on this map, there's not a lot to save you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think the common adage is misses are fatal, but in this matchup, 200s are going to make the difference here.
At this point, even like a string of 5 300s.
Yeah, and as we get out of the intro, we saw those strings of 300s come out from the side of High Honey. Samuel HK Lumpers dropping down into that 99.7 range. And the fact that 99.77 is the lowest accuracy in this lobby just speaks to the quality of the players playing right now. 99.97s from the side of Usada Pakora as we get into the back half of the map. Definitely not a lot of map to work with, and this is already quite a large deficit to work with.
Yeah, that beginning where Samuel drops quite a decent amount of 300s off of those awkward LN timings and releases.
Yeah, and as we dive into a bit more of an LN section, we see those 300 releases coming out from the side of High Honey. Usada Pakora building the lead here, still above that 99.95 range for them. I feel like we're on for a double-digit 300 run, like I was saying earlier, and that is the bar that is being set here. Shora doing everything in their power in this last quarter, 99.83, highest for their team, but they need to make up that deficit or try and hope for a miss from the side of Usada Pakora here in the ending to
Yep, I
try and
believe
make
all
the
that's
inroads.
left is that inverse section at the end.
I mean, we've seen people slider break on that before.
Let's see if it'll happen now.
Oh, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Usada Pakora is going to take their first pick here. No more
It's
breakpoint.
absolutely flawless out of them.
25 and 27. 1-200
Wow, I
from
didn't even
Ting.
notice that one.
One of those blink and you miss moments. A V1 double S from Samuel HK Lumpers when all is said and done, but unfortunately not enough to try and take that third breakpoint. But it is going to be their pick here. An opportunity to try and notch things up yet again.
And you have to wonder where they want to go. If I were them, I would maybe say SV2.
Took the words right out of my mouth. SV2 is definitely the most wild card pick in this pool, and you might be able to catch uh, Ting and Ray off guard. I wonder who would play that pick for Usada Pakora, but everything was everything was a little too easy to get good ratio on. Maybe huge W just for the length, but
That would be pretty nice as well. Just long enough where you hope that they'll break, just like on Rice 1.
yeah, absolutely. But they'll need to make a pick here, and it is going to be SV2.
Very nice pick by them.
And what is it, like a minute and 15 seconds of
I believe so, yeah.
some very interesting SV.
Yeah, that's the thing about this map, is that there are only pretty much 2 sections you really have to memorize.
Yeah, and in those 2 memorization sections can definitely drop a lot of accuracy if you're not ready. And it looks like we are going to have another switch out for Usada Pakora. It looks like Jakesu might be coming back in for Ray.
Looks like in the chat, Ting mentions that Ray and Jixu are having a mental breakdown.
That's part of the course for listening to this map. Definitely a very interesting song. We are glad to have it. It helps with map pooling for us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But with that being said, it looks like it is going to be the stalwarts for High Honey. Shoira and Samuel HK Lumper still staying in here. No sight of ping yet. Probably going to stay in reserve right now. Unless there are any last second substitutions, Jakesu does come back in.
I wonder how practiced these guys are on this map.
I'm expecting 4 sight reads, given how people are with SV maps. So
yeah,
it shouldn't
seeing
be...
it totally ignored during the protect and ban phase was really weird.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like it's not a complete sight read, but definitely need to refresh yourself on where all the little gimmicky parts are. Alright, it looks like the players are ready. The MP Star command comes out. Can High Honey keep this level, or can Usada Pakora take their third point here and really start to push the pace of this match? They are in to this 4th pick.
And a couple things to watch out for is the LN on the 4th column. There's a bit of a slowdown, and besides that, it's pretty much going to be an act battle, really.
Yeah, all the sections outside of those teleports are going to be very interesting. Nobody drops on those LNs. Very nice to see.
You did
Couple
see
200s.
Jixu drop a couple 200s off of the LNs.
God, who'd have thunk it? Jakesu drops on the transition, getting caught out, anticipating those notes just a little bit. Gonna break the combo and give High Honey a massive advantage to work with here into the back half of the map. Oh my goodness, the wild card working out in favor of High Honey as it stands right now. Not a lot of map left to contend with. We are in the last quarter, and both players from High Honey holding on to the full combo. Ting doing everything in their power. 99.94 on this SV pick. I would imagine if either player from High Honey drops, that lead is going to swing.
But I don't think there's enough map for them to regain the lead, and it doesn't seem like there's gonna be, no.
Oh man, one miss, and that is all you need on a map this short. And High Honey notches it up 2-2. Some insane scores. 997 V1 from Ting.
Just
Oh, that is
absolutely unfortunate that Jake's
that
dropped there.
very unfortunate. I think it might have been close. Well, actually, they might have taken the win if he hadn't have dropped. But oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting these scores from this pick.
Oh yeah, 990 by Shora. That's also really good.
Very, very good indeed. Samuel not too far behind, 988, 1-200. You'd imagine they would have crested that V1 or the 990 mark if they had gotten a V1 double S. But with that being said, Usada Pakora up to pick now, and no more SVs to work with. They are going to go ground pound here. They're going to go for their protect now.
And just like you've been saying, with it being 2-2, it's now basically a best of 5 for them, these teams.
Yeah, and as we go through these picks, I mean, the breakpoints at the beginning were rather surprising, but if they continue going this trend where they take their own picks, I mean, we're going to need that tiebreaker to come out.
Not something that you would expect to see out of a match like Seed 2 versus Seed 31.
Absolutely, and if all the matches are going to be this close, we are in for a very, very wild weekend. It just goes to show you that seeding don't mean everything. That or our qualifier map pool was very lopsided.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know.
We only had so much to work with, but that being said, it looks like Ray is gonna come in for Jakesu here. Very interesting. I thought Jakesu was gonna be the Rice backup for Ting in these matchups.
Weird to see, but maybe he was relegated after that pick on Silvu's president.
Maybe that, or might just be feeling some discomfort, or maybe not feeling up to the speed jacks in this pick. So with that being said, it was very funny during the showcase of this map. Everybody was thinking this was going to be an SV pick, just given the mapper.
Oh yeah, our good friend Hyper.
But we do enjoy subverting expectations in this tournament, and I feel like this match has subverted expectations as well, as we wait for the players to ready up here. As you said earlier, this is now essentially a best of 5.
And you have to wonder, looking at the maps left, if there's enough real estate for High Honey to get to that 4th point and possibly, you know, take it.
Yeah, it becomes a question of what's left for comfort for High Honey and who would actually come out on top in the end on that tiebreaker. Should we get there, we do have to contest ground pound first though.
And it seems like the discussion might just revolve around will Ting or Ray drop, or possibly drop a couple 200s.
At this point, I'm looking to see if Ray even drops at 300 right now. 100% accuracy over 200, almost 200 notes, and finally drops 1. The auto has been disabled from them. As we get into this first drop, everybody handling the rolls.
I believe it should be pretty smooth sailing for this first part. It doesn't really ramp up until the back half of the map.
Right you are, and as it stands, Usada Pakora has, as it has been throughout this match, has the accuracy advantage out of the intro on this Rice pick. 99.97, 99.95, and again, High Honey not too far behind, 8s and 7s apiece.
Samuel with a 99.76 makes you wonder if they dropped the 200 that we might have missed.
Yeah, probably during that roll, that or maybe just a flurry of 300s coming out. But that being said, stabilized very well. There aren't a lot of curveballs thrown out here, and the players are going to see the scores here.
Yep, and they've got to be thinking that they have their work cut out for them after this little break.
Yeah, absolutely. 4,000 points is the lead for Usada Pakora. Still within striking distance for High Honey as we get into this back half of the map. But right now, as it stands, it's just that the 300 counts being the difference.
And just look at their scores on Usada Pakora's team. 99.97, 99.96. This is just easy work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is essentially a warm-up for them in terms of the overall difficulty. And I feel like they're probably separated by like one judgment. Out of that break, it was like 100 points separating the two.
Yeah, and this is pretty much the densest part of the map here.
And everybody able to full combo their way through it. So as it was with Silver President, it was basically a ratio battle up until the end. Those unfortunate misses for Usada Pakora not going to come out here as we get into the last sliver of map. Not a lot to contend with here. All that could possibly happen is maybe like a finger lock and just forgetting to press a key. But it doesn't look like even that will be the case.
And as this map closes out, we're going to see Usada Pakora take it with what looks to be a double 99.97.
That is filthy. That is an absolutely disgusting team score. 10,000 points just based on accuracy. 29 and 33. They basically tied each other.
There's the first 999 of the tournament as well.
Oh my goodness. You know what the scary part is? There are players in this tournament that can beat that score.
Oh yeah.
Like this score will not stand by the end of the weekend. Mark my words. That being said, very valiant efforts from the High Honey squad. 995, 993, respectively. And it is going to be
those
their
scores
pick.
anywhere else would be like amazing.
Exactly. They would beat a lot of teams in this tournament, but when you run against a brick wall, not the best outcome there. And it looks like they are going to go for hybrid 2. It is going to be Madarome.
And I don't know about this pick, Sparky. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a little better than going for like huge W. I feel like right on time is a little risky in terms of like release coordination to try and force through. So if you can try and sneak out this hybrid pick, it could work out in the long run because you still have that LN2 protect in the back pocket to work with, because you do at least have one more. Actually, no, this is going to be the last pick if things go Usada Pakora's way. So a little high rolly, but I feel like when your back's against the wall, you have to try something, and this is probably the safest pick. And it looks like we're gonna have Ping tagging in for Samuel HK Lumpers here.
Yep, this is gonna be the first time we see Ping here. And I think in this map, what they're hoping for is that little inverse part on the right-hand columns. Maybe a couple grades off of that.
Yeah, definitely hoping for anything. And Ting is going to be sight reading this, so be very interested to see how they fare. Probably not too big of an ordeal, as if that were like finals or something. Trying to sight read a finals map versus round of 32. Definitely an order of magnitude easier.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be any discomfort at all on Ting's side. However, if he drops, a couple more 300s than he likes, or maybe even a couple grades, then we can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely right. And as we get started, this has been the trend so far this match. Usada Pakora with this outstanding accuracy, but now High Honey able to contest a little bit here out of the intro. 99.9s and high 99.8s as opposed
Doing well
to
in that first
7s.
awkward part with the LNs. But this is the big one coming up.
Okay. Right hands, and Ping finds a 200. But no real damage done. I feel like Shoro fared a little bit worse in that exchange as well. 99.7s for High Honey to the 99.9s of Usada Pakora. And that is going to build the lead right now for them. And
This
as
is
we
an
get...
amazing side read by Ting.
Yeah, so far so good for them. No signs of discomfort, as we were saying. as this map began, and as we get into this back half of the map, a couple of 300s coming out, but no real harm done. Still very comfortably in the lead right now, but if there are any 200 drops from the side of Usada Pakora, High Honey is definitely in a position to capitalize on them.
And if they were to happen, they need to happen now.
Yeah, the door is quickly closing as we get into this last third of the map. That being said, there's still quite a lot of LN anchors that folks could find themselves glider breaking on. The density doesn't really ramp up, but the coordination element definitely not the most unintrusive. Definitely warrants some level of care as you work your way through it. And as we get into the last quarter of the map, it looks like this is the same accuracy we've seen throughout this match so far, about 9,000 points as we get into the ending.
Yep, we're going to be looking at another double V1SS out of Usada Pakora, it looks like. Another maybe double 997?
More than likely so. Their accuracies are tied. Shora did find a little bit more damage. Those releases definitely wearing away. And it looks like Usada Pakora is going to take this to match point now. They tied! 76 V1SS! Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Oh, thank God they're on the same team. We would have had a replay if that were the case. Wow. That's just how in sync they are.
Yeah, when you look at those scores, like, I don't know, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. 131, 249, a valiant effort, all 990s across the board, but it's just the level of accuracy.
And after that break point from Usada Pakora, it's gonna be their pick. They get to choose the map that they want to win on.
Oh, I would imagine Huge W has to be the pick here.
And name pick as well.
Yeah. That, or, I mean, you could go right on time if you want to pick something that's a little bit shorter. But I feel like there's a level of risk involved with that pick.
Yeah, with that kind of map, there's definitely a lot of places where a miss can creep up on you.
Yeah, and I mean, forget misses, just bad releases.
Yep, even 200s. So going with the rice pick might be the safer option.
And Tang asking what maps are left. It's very easy to lose track of what maps are remaining after a very long match such as this. And it looks like it is going to be Huge W coming out just based on Usada Pakora's chat logs.
Yeah, Ting asks, what maps are there? And then Ray just comes in all caps, Huge W! Really wanted to play that.
Really wanted to play it. So we are going to go into our tech pick here. The longest map in this pool, barring the tiebreaker, I believe. Definitely a couple of choke points littered throughout this map. Some of the patterns do get rather obtrusive as you progress through it. Keeping the composure is going to be of the utmost importance.
Yep, even a couple places where you can finger lock and miss after a jack section, where they have it on the same column. Looks like Ting's sight reading yet again, but you know, I don't expect any discomfort out of him. I don't think it would change his score that much.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Ping is going to substitute out for Samuel HK Lumper, is going to come back in to try and contest this and try and force that last LN pick to come out. It is currently 4-2, match point to Usada Pakora. See how the players do. And right out of the gate, Shora taking quite a bit of damage to the accuracy. It might have had that audio hop that happens at the start of maps, and probably might have dropped a couple of extra 300s. Recovering well now as we progress deeper into the map, gonna catch up to everybody else.
And on the side of Usada Pakora, it looks like they're gonna have 99.99 or 90s heading into about an eighth of the map.
As is part of the course, and that is going to build the lead in their favor as we progress into the second quarter of the map. Jax rolls, couple of 200s coming out from the side of High Honey is going to help expand the lead. Both players below that 99.7 mark, going to give quite a cushion to work with for the Usada Pakora members.
Yep, Samuel looks to be dropping a lot of 200s, especially on the roll section, and as you see here, a lot of 300s on this awkward part as well.
Yeah, gonna be lagging just a little bit behind here. Sure, doing everything in their power to try and keep things as close as possible. Definitely still within catching distance should either member of Usada Pakora drop a miss. And we have seen this lineup drop misses before. As we get into the second third of the map though, 1000 combo in, everybody holding on to the full combos here.
Halfway into the map, and we see Usada Pakora with quite the lead.
Yeah, Shora again doing everything that they can to keep things competitive. 99.81 Samuel Lumpers climbing up just a little bit here. They did find a bit of a drop in that last section, but recovering very well. Going to hit that 99.7 mark relatively soon, barring any more rolls catching them and their accuracy off guard. 99.9s, as has been the case for our number 2 seed here, going into the next break.
And it's good that you mentioned Samuel has been climbing in accuracy throughout this whole map, like barring the start.
Yeah, he definitely, it's very easy to discount players whenever they find accuracy drops. Got to reward them when they do start climbing, because it is a very hard task, especially on long maps like this. Every percentage point matters, especially if your opponents are prone to missing, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case as we get into the last quarter of the map. As things calm down just a little bit, the players can take stock, recompose themselves a little bit for this last gauntlet of notes. And as we get into this last quarter, a couple more bursts, a couple of quads coming in. Everybody still hangs on. Last chorus to go, and as it stands, Usada Pakora, this lead, not insurmountable by any stretch of the imaginations. Misses could change things in this last moment, but the door is slowly shutting on High Honey's chances of a comeback here.
There's not a lot left to miss on.
Not a lot at all. It would take a monumental collapse, and by monumental I mean just one miss could swing things in an instant, but with only a sliver of map left to go, and the consistency that the Usada Pakora lineup has shown, Ray and Ting are a force to be reckoned with. And even when you throw in Jakes, still a very formidable lineup. There's a reason why they qualified second, and there's a reason why, as it stands, they will be taking this match 5-2.
My brand.
Yep, and this is going to be a huge W, seems like, for Usada Pakora. Aside from those 2 maps that they dropped, I mean, just look at their scores, honestly.
Yeah, just the epitomes of consistency. 2 V1 double S's, 2 closes out, and what a wonderful start to the round of 32 weekend. A very back and forth matchup up until the end, when Usada Pakora was able to pull away, and they will move on to the round of 16. In the winner's bracket, High Honey will be dropping down into that lower bracket where they look to try and make the run.
And that was a great set by them. It feels like even though they're seed 31, I wouldn't like to see them in losers bracket if I were facing them.
Absolutely not. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. But as it stands, that'll do it for our matches for this to kick off this weekend. We will be back at about 12 UTC, as you mentioned at the top of the broadcast. The match that was coming after this was rescheduled. So the next match will be Baku 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 versus Triple X Nakamata Chloe Gaming Triple X. And I mean, Dinah, unless you have anything else to say, I believe this is the end.
Just a good game, well played to the competitors, and we will see you in the next one.
Huge W.